The night was shrouded in a heavy darkness, broken only by the faint glow of the car's headlights cutting through the thick veil of trees. The road stretched endlessly before the weary traveler, a ribbon of cracked asphalt that seemed to lead into oblivion. The protagonist, Jake, had been driving for hours, chasing the white lines that marked the path to nowhere in particular. His journey was solitary, accompanied only by the rhythmic hum of the engine and the occasional whisper of the wind through the cracked windows. As he navigated the desolate road, a feeling of unease settled in the pit of his stomach. The isolation weighed on him, the oppressive silence broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the darkness. The radio had long lost its signal, leaving him with nothing but his own thoughts for company. Then, as if materializing from the shadows themselves, Jake noticed a figure ahead. It was a hitchhiker, their silhouette a mere outline against the dimly lit backdrop of the road. A tattered backpack hung from their shoulders, and their outstretched thumb beckoned for a ride. Jake's heart quickened, torn between a desire to help and the instinctual fear of picking up a stranger on this forsaken road. But something about the hitchhiker's presence, something that he couldn't quite put his finger on, compelled him to slow down and pull over. With the ingenedling, Jake rolled down the window and called out to the hitchhiker, "Need a lift?" The hitchhiker approached, their features hidden in the darkness. Their voice, when they spoke, was soft and filled with an otherworldly quality. "Yes, please. I've been waiting for a kind soul like you." As the hitchhiker stepped into the car and settled into the passenger seat, a chill ran down Jake's spine. He couldn't have known it then, but this chance encounter on the desolate road would plunge him into a world of supernatural mystery and terror that defied all logic. As the Phantom Hitchhiker settled into the car's passenger seat, an eerie chill swept over the vehicle. The traveler's heart raced, unable to ignore the unsettling aura that now enveloped them. The hitchhiker's appearance was perplexing. They appeared like an ordinary person at first glance, dressed in a faded plaid shirt and worn jeans. Yet there was something about their eyes, piercing and otherworldly, that sent shivers down the traveler's spine. The air inside the car seemed to thicken as the traveler cleared their throat and nervously said, "So, where are you headed?" The hitchhiker turned to face them, a strange smile playing on their lips. "The road goes on forever," they replied cryptically, their voice a haunting whisper. "But it's not always what it seems." Unease settled upon the traveler like a heavy shroud. They couldn't shake the feeling that they had just invited something supernatural into their car. As the miles passed in silence, broken only by the soft hum of the engine, the traveler couldn't help but steal glances at the hitchhiker. There was an air of melancholy about them, as if they carried the weight of 1,000 lost souls. The hitchhiker's eyes never left the road, but their voice pierced the silence again. "Do you ever wonder what lies beyond the horizon, traveler?" The traveler swallowed hard, their grip on the steering wheel tightening. "Sometimes," they admitted cautiously, their curiosity piqued despite their apprehension. "Sometimes," the hitchhiker echoed, their voice filled with a profound sadness. "But the road has its secrets, and not all who travel it find what they seek." With those enigmatic words, the journey continued into the night. The traveler couldn't help but feel that they had embarked on a path filled with uncertainty and the unknown. The Phantom Hitchhiker remained an enigma, their presence both eerie and strangely captivating as they hurtled down the dark, desolate road, deeper into the heart of the haunting tale. As the car's headlights cut through the inky darkness of the night, the hitchhiker began to share their story. Their voice, though ordinary in tone, held an inexplicable weight, as if it carried the echoes of long-forgotten tragedies. "My name is Evelyn," the hitchhiker finally revealed. "And this road, it's been a part of my life for far too long." Evelyn's eyes, illuminated by the dim glow of the car's dashboard, seemed to hold the secrets of the universe. She spoke of a past filled with heartache and despair, of a love lost to the very road they now traveled. "I met him on this very highway," Evelyn whispered, her voice quivering with emotion. "His name was James, and we were deeply in love. But fate had other plans. The protagonist listened intently, their unease growing with each word. It was as if Evelyn's tale wove a web of sorrow around them, pulling them deeper into the enigma of this haunting encounter. Evelyn continued, her words a haunting melody in the night. She described a tragic accident that had claimed James's life, a collision with a speeding truck that left her heart shattered. But what came next chilled the protagonist to the core. James's spirit remained trapped on this road, Evelyn confessed, her eyes now shimmering with tears. He's been searching for me, trying to reach out from beyond the grave, and every time someone stops to pick me up, he hopes it's me. In that moment, the car seemed to grow colder, as if the very air held the weight of James's lingering presence. The protagonist couldn't help but glance at the rearview mirror, half expecting to see a ghostly figure in the back seat. As the road stretched on ahead, the hitchhiker's words left a lingering sense of dread. What did James want? Why was his spirit bound to this desolate highway? And what did Evelyn's role in this supernatural tale truly entail? The answers remained elusive, shrouded in the darkness of the night and the unsettling uncertainty of the road ahead. The protagonist couldn't shake the feeling that they were now part of a story that defied logic. A story where the line between the living and the dead had become dangerously thin. As the car's headlights pierced through the inky darkness of the desolate road, the memory of the Phantom Hitchhiker's disappearance lingered like a haunting refrain in the protagonist's mind. With trembling hands clutching the steering wheel, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being drawn deeper into an otherworldly enigma. The road stretched endlessly before them, winding through the heart of a dense forest, shadows cast by the gnarled trees playing eerie tricks on their imagination. Each curve seemed to lead to an abyss of uncertainty, yet the protagonist felt an inexplicable compulsion to continue. Minutes turned into hours, and with each passing mile, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. Unearthly gusts of wind swept through the trees, whispering secrets only the night could comprehend. And then, as if summoned by the very darkness itself, the hitchhiker's spectral figure materialized at the edge of the road. The protagonist's heart raced as they slowed the car, unable to resist the pull of the inexplicable. The hitchhiker's ghostly presence beckoned them forward, their form flickering like a wisp of smoke in the rearview mirror. It was as if the hitchhiker's spirit was leading them further into a labyrinthine puzzle with an elusive solution. The pursuit continued, the protagonist's determination mingling with trepidation. Shadows danced in the corners of their vision, and the wind carried eerie whispers that seemed to taunt and tantalize. The very fabric of reality appeared to warp and twist, as if the laws of the physical world no longer applied. As they followed the Phantom Hitchhiker's elusive trail, a sense of disorientation and unease grew. It was as if they were trapped in an endless loop, the same landmarks and bends in the road repeating with maddening consistency. Panic threatened to engulf them, but they knew that turning back was no longer an option. With every mile that passed, the enigmatic spirit led them deeper into the heart of the supernatural mystery. The car's engine hummed with an eerie resonance, echoing the protagonist's growing realization that they were no longer in control of their destiny. The haunted pursuit had become an inescapable journey into the unknown, where the line between the living and the dead blurred with each passing moment.
As the lonely highway stretched before the protagonist, doubts gnawed at their mind like relentless wolves. The unsettling story told by the hitchhiker still echoed in their ears. To find answers, they decided to stop at a small, dimly lit roadside diner, a haven from the shadows that seemed to chase them. Inside, a vintage jukebox played a melancholic tune, and the flickering neon lights cast eerie reflections on the counter. The diner's aging owner, Gus, greeted the protagonist with a knowing look. He had seen many weary travelers seeking more than just a cup of coffee. As the protagonists sipped their hot, bitter brew, they started asking about the history of the desolate road they were on. Gus leaned in, his voice low and conspiratorial, revealing tales of accidents, disappearances, and whispers of the supernatural. It was then that the protagonist found an old, yellowwood newspaper clippings pinned to the wall, an article from years past. The headline sent chills down their spine. Tragic accident claims young couple's lives on haunted highway. The accompanying picture featured the hitchhiker and their partner, smiling in happier times. The protagonist's heart sank as they read about the accident that had taken their lives, a tragedy forever tied to the very road they now traveled. Gus's voice trembled as he revealed that the hitchhiker had once been a regular at the diner, waiting for their lost love to return. The paranormal encounters were the hitchhiker's desperate attempts to reunite with their partner, lost in the same accident. The protagonist realized the grim truth. They had unwittingly picked up a vengeful spirit, forever seeking solace and closure on this forsaken highway. With newfound determination, they left the diner, determined to confront the Phantom Hitchhiker. The road seemed darker than ever, haunted by the weight of the past. They had to find a way to help the lost soul find peace and put an end to this supernatural torment. The encounter ahead would be their most terrifying yet, but the road to redemption was paved with their determination to unravel the sinister truth behind the Phantom Hitchhiker. The road stretched endlessly ahead, each mile marker passing like a ghostly whisper of the night. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow on the deserted highway. The protagonist's heart raced, for they knew that they were on the verge of a chilling revelation. As the car's headlights pierced the darkness, the Phantom Hitchhiker's presence grew stronger. They appeared before the windshield, their spectral form flickering like a dying flame. The hitchhiker's eyes, once filled with sorrow and anger, now held a glimmer of something else: recognition. The protagonist's voice quivered but remained resolute. "What do you want from me?" The hitchhiker's voice, like a distant echo, carried a mixture of longing and sadness. "I seek redemption, a release from the torment that binds me to this forsaken road." With trembling hands, the protagonist reached into their pocket, retrieving an old, weathered photograph, the key to unlocking the hitchhiker's restless spirit. The photograph depicted a scene from the past, a time when the hitchhiker was alive and filled with hope. It was a memory, forever etched in time. The hitchhiker's gaze fixed on the photograph, and a flicker of recognition crossed their translucent face. That was my daughter," they whispered, their voice barely audible. With the photograph held high, the protagonist recounted the hitchhiker's story, the tale of a life marred by tragedy, a desperate attempt to save their daughter, and an ill-fated journey down this very road. It was a narrative of loss, guilt, and unfinished business, a story that had trapped the hitchhiker's soul. As the protagonist revealed the photograph's significance, the atmosphere grew charged with emotion. The hitchhiker's spectral form began to waver, as if caught in a cosmic tug of war. Their features softened, and a sense of release washed over them. "I forgive myself," the hitchhiker murmured, the words a fragile whisper on the night air. With a final longing look at the photograph, they began to fade, their form dissolving into the ether. The road ahead, once cloaked in darkness, now felt different. It held no more secrets, no more spectral torment. The protagonist knew that they had helped the hitchhiker find peace, and in doing so, had found a measure of dawn broke over the horizon. The protagonist continued their journey down the once haunted highway. The road, no longer tainted by the supernatural, stretched out before them, a symbol of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. In the rearview mirror, the hitchhiker's spirit lingered for a moment, a faint smile on their face, before vanishing into the new day. The Phantom Hitchhiker was no more, their restless soul finally at rest. The protagonist's heart was lighter, their burden lifted. They had traversed the realms of the unknown and emerged on the other side, forever changed by their encounter with the Phantom Hitchhiker. As the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, the protagonists continued their journey down the once haunted highway. The road, no longer tainted by the supernatural, stretched out before them, a symbol of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. In the rearview mirror, the hitchhiker's spirit lingered for a moment, a faint smile on their face, before vanishing into the new day. The Phantom Hitchhiker was no more, their restless soul finally at rest. The protagonist's heart was lighter, their burden lifted. They had traversed the realms of the unknown and emerged on the other side, forever changed by their encounter with the Phantom Hitchhiker.